No, like I haven't changed anything, but I wear these pants all the time, and like just this morning,
it's like
I
tight.
just
This is about to explode.
yeah, no, it's like a tightly packed.
So is
sausage.
this though? Do I look fat now? Like, am I like?
Huh? No, I mean
I'm
this
getting
is
fat,
definitely
right?
more.
Yeah. I'm getting fight.
Hey
Just
guys, yes. You're
Oh
getting
hi!
fat.
Oh, we're live.
live.
Hey,
Yeah.
hello. Welcome back,
Hey.
TCSTV viewers.
How's it
Chris
going?
and Jordan here for our live show, and it's
Yeah.
everything sounded good.
Everything sounds great.
As always, guys, let us know if there's any technical issues.
Yeah, which I'm sure you will in a very
Oh
polite
yes,
and-
we are hard cut on our guests. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this is our special guest today.
Yeah.
So we've had an exciting morning this morning.
Hi, David.
Yeah, the store was targeted by a robber or robbers, and we've brought our special guest here. This is Rusty Pole, and Rusty Pole assisted in the break-in last night.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell, Rusty Pole?
But he stuck around to.
Rusty Pole,
give
we're
us the
reasonably sure, was the
condolences.
first one in the store last
Yeah.
night,
Yep.
or this morning, actually.
So Rusty Pole, can you tell us just a couple questions? So, I mean, obviously you did it for financial gain, but what's it about Christmas time? Why would you do that at Christmas time? Like, what is it about this season that everybody wants to break in and steal stuff?
Yeah.
Do you think this shtick is worn out?
No, I think we can do this for an hour. Okay.
But
But if you have any questions for Rusty Pole,
Yeah,
he's here, he's laved up, so he can answer any questions you may have.
why don't you just give a quick rundown of exactly what's going on, Chris?
Yeah,
What
so, we've Instagrammed this, we've tweeted this out, so, check that out too, share it with your friends, that kind of thing. But looks like a very highly targeted attack. Some people broke in last night or early this morning, and they took a Leica Safari M240. This is the sexy green one with the matching 35mm silver lens. Beautiful camera. They also took an X1D kit, so they obviously didn't watch our YouTube review on that camera.
That should always be the first thing you should do.
Like
before.
seriously, what are you gonna? Yeah, check out our YouTube reviews before you break in and steal our stuff. But hey, the firmware updates, maybe someone will buy it. I don't know. But it looks like a very targeted attack, and so we kind of wanted to get this out here, guys. I mean, this isn't the kind of gear that you can really easily fence. You know what I mean? It's high-profile stuff. It's collectible stuff.
Yeah.
Big dollar value, but not the kind of thing you're just going to turn over at a pawn shop.
No, especially the Safari camera. There's probably only a dozen of those in Canada.
Yeah, so it sounds like a maybe a made-to-order theft. Like, go in there, get me these two cameras, I'll give you this cash.
Right.
Who knows? But if you hear anything in the photographic community, if you have a buddy that you don't care about anymore who's like, hey, I just got myself a Safari, ha 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 ha,
Yeah.
got a great deal on it, ha ha.
I believe he will laugh like a cartoon villain when he says that, so be aware.
But we are looking for information, so help us out. Anybody in the community, that's the best way to target these people and get this solved. So if there is any information you have and it leads to a conviction, we've got a $3,000 reward at the camera store here on your account. You can buy some new gear legitimately. We'd be happy to do that for you if you can help us out. And if you have any questions or anything, let us know. But let's keep our ear to the ground and see what people say.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
So today, things got upstaged a little bit this morning when we walked in and saw glass everywhere. But we really wanted to discuss our predictions. We've shot our best and worst of episode.
Oh,
I'm cutting
did
it
we
right
ever?
now. It's halfway cut, so I am really hoping to get that up early next week. But we wanted to look at some of our predictions for 2018.
Best and worst of we're really excited about, and we know that you guys love it, and we really appreciate that. And we have a special surprise. I'm not going to give it away yet, but you're going to like this one. We have a special surprise. And that'll be a really neat part of that whole thing.
It will be a long episode again, but that'll give you're all off for Christmas, so that'll give you lots of time to enjoy it. I think it's one of our more interesting episodes.
I think so. And the Leica CL video just came out. I'm sorry, Leica. I really apologize, but I don't. I feel totally like it was exactly how I felt about the camera. But that review's out. Check it out as well.
Yeah, and I do want to mention we're getting a lot of comments about that. That was my first shoot on the EVA 1.
Yes, the Panasonic EVA 1.
People are very polarized about it. A lot of people are saying it's one of our worst looking episodes. A lot of people are saying that they love the footage coming off of it. I do want to say it's a brand new color profile, and typically when I've got a new camera, I try to avoid using any LUTs for it.
Right.
I want to get a hand on exactly how it works. So that was primarily a hand-graded episode. So I'm not getting the most I can get out of the camera. You know, it's a quick turnaround on it. I'm looking forward to some more adjustments, play with those files a little bit more. But definitely an interesting
funny.
camera.
You know, half the people are like, "Oh, the color was amazing. It was really true." It was really, other people are like, "That color's gross. What are you doing?" Yeah.
I mean, it's always so subjective, but it is funny. We never see that with photos, right? Not a lot of people are like, "Oh, I hate the color coming off of this," but no, when it comes to video cameras, people are very opinionated.
It was nice for Jordan to get some hands-on time with it, though, and yes, we do have a full review, you know, that will be coming out.
We are in the new year.
We're gonna play with that and get a full thing going on. I also wanted to say, you know, just before we go on, so the 2017 best and worst of, now we want to do predictions for 2018. And so before we get into that, I just want to say the thing that really upset us the most about this whole break-in, I mean, you know, $30,000 cameras and expensive, you know, collectibles, that's one thing, but those bastards scratched our 100,000 subscriber thing.
Yeah, and I mean,
you know, like
YouTube only gives you one when you get 100,000 and when you get 1 million. We're a long ways off from 1 million. This is all we're gonna have for years.
I mean, really? I know those bastards. I do want to say, I do want to say though, on a positive note, we're really close to 300,000, and we appreciate you guys are trying to get us there. And that means a lot to us. I mean, we're really happy about that. So let's keep it going.
Best and worst is coming out. I'm hoping that pushes us over the
Let's
300
go for 1 million
cliff.
now. We're using the sympathy vote. 1 million, please, because look how much they damaged this. It's really sad.
We need a new one. So.
Yeah. All right.
So let's get into predictions. As always, guys, one of our favorite things is hearing from all of you, what your takes are, any questions you might have.
This is kind of a roundtable discussion for Jordan and I, talking about what we are hoping to see, what we think will happen in the new year. But please tell us what you'd like to see, what you're hoping for, any kind of trends that you think might take place. It should be interesting. Let's just have a nice, friendly chat about it all.
Cool.
Or unfriendly if people get really, you know, angry
so
about it.
let's lead with the market leader. I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
Canon.
And 2018 was an interesting year from them. You know, we saw them really fleshing out their dual pixel into like every entry-level camera.
Yeah.
They've said 2018's the year that they're going to do the full-frame mirrorless camera.
Did they say that?
They said that's on the way. Yeah. Well, they've said the professional mirrorless.
Right.
I mean, they have an M5 that's APS-C. You know, I think the next logical step up would be that camera.
Right.
Here's where we differ. I really think that they're going to just use the regular EF mount and make a big full-frame mirrorless camera with an EVF.
Right. You're thinking an SLR with an EVF. I actually don't think that's a terrible idea the more that I think about it. I still don't know how it's going to go. I mean, it didn't work very well for Sony, you know, but I could see Canon doing that because they are so fixated on the SLR market, and that would certainly be an interesting transition point into mirrorless, right? EVF cameras. I really liked the SL2 because for me the SL2 was kind of this neat hybrid of a camera that can do EVF as well as still have the optical SLR. I mean, really, why not have the best of both? They're the only cameras that can really focus well and quickly during...
well, but again, we don't. If we do that, we don't have the option of the EVF. So which is actually my favorite part of mirrorless. So, I mean, we're doing our rational and our optimistic predictions.
Yeah, here's my
rational prediction is it's just going to be a SLR-shaped box with an EVF in it and the mirror box torn out. What I would love to see is some sort of hybrid viewfinder from Canon where you could toggle between the optical viewfinder for tracking quick action. That would take care of all the lag issues. But then when you're shooting a little more deliberately, you want to do video, anything like that, flick it over to the
Why
EVF.
not?
It's funny that Fuji's the only guys who have done this hybrid thing.
Gentlemen.
Yes.
Breaking news. Sorry to interrupt your conversation.
Ooh.
The reward has now been kicked up to $5,000.
Oh, $5,000
for
That
shopping.
didn't even take half an hour. It's going to keep going up.
So we're going to keep it...
It's like the Powerball.
That's...
Okay, so now the reward's $5,000, but my Instagram says 3, so I'm keeping 2 of that.
All right.
Plus all the money I get when I sell that Safari camera. Oh,
sweet. So that's my take on Canon. The big thing I think that tips my hand in this direction is we haven't seen a whole pile of patents for full-frame mirrorless glass from Canon yet, which leads me to believe that, yeah, we're going to be using an existing lens mount.
I love the idea. I love the optimism. Is Mr. Pole, you stop blocking my shadow, you
There
butt.
you go. Much
There we
better.
go. I do feel
You know you're
like
the one casting the shadow. It's not the pole.
you're too tall.
Only if I go back like that. We're
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
I do feel like that's a great optimistic thing. That would be cool. Why not have a hybrid SLR viewfinder with an EVF in there? And again, they're one of the only cameras that can focus well off the screen. However, I'm kind of thinking more realistically. I think Canon is going to come out with a full frame camera that would look SLR-ish. You know, I'm thinking more like EOS M5,
Like
but
a big
bigger.
M5,
Yeah, with you know, well, with EF mount would be fine, or they'll probably put the adapter and they can put EF glass on. But
Yeah.
at the same time, here's my problem: is Canon going to castrate the camera in order to still protect the SLR market, or are they finally done with that attitude?
I think they're going to leave some stuff SLR. I mean, we saw it with the M5 even, which was an 80D, but they pulled off like some of the interval shooting stuff,
Right.
some of the video features. I really do expect we'll see that. I bet they're not going to put a headphone jack in it, something like that.
Yeah. Or the other thing is, you know, the M5 and the M series, the M100, the M10, these are nice cameras, but they're still really lacking in the lens department. So, you know, are they then going to start wowing us with a whole bunch of full frame lenses for a mirrorless mount?
Well, this is my concern because Sony, when they jumped on, you know, they only had a couple lenses when they first started the A7 series, but everybody was excited for the options of
Right.
adapting. If people are excited about adapting, they've already bought into a different camera system. They need a good native lens lineup. That's why I think my prediction makes some sense, but we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us with, I would hope it'll launch with at least a half dozen lenses. I don't think there's any way around
I just want to put an adapter on there and put Nikon glass on a Canon camera. Oh, that would be silly, actually. Because Canon lenses are better. Any questions out there? Any comments? Any ideas that you folks have?
It's kind of a hodgepodge of
Yeah, I like
stuff right now.
All right. Well, until something cuts through the mire.
Someone wants to do a World Tour 2018.
World Tour.
TCSTV World Tour.
Oh, I would
think that's a
love
great idea.
that. Okay, great, perfect. As soon as they send us the money, we'll go do it.
And we'll need a third host, and Amazon's going to have to foot the bill.
Yeah,
That's the only
and we
way
have to
that's
take
happening.
Gary and Ian. We still won't pay them, but we're gonna have to take them. So.
Absolutely.
It's a free world trip.
Do we know where the serial numbers are going to be showcased, or?
We are going to put those up, I believe.
Yeah.
They didn't really want us to talk about it yet, but yeah, here's some empty boxes now, some demo boxes with
go.
no lenses that will ever go in them. Our X1D, there was a 30 mil lens that was taken. The X1D body was taken. 45 mil lens was taken. And the 90 was taken.
That's a good little.
Yeah, that is a good
triplicate of
lens.
primes
Well,
there.
you know,
Yeah.
except to the out of focus rendition is kind of.
Yeah. We will be posting. I would guess we're going to see those guys on Facebook, Twitter, all of our regular social media.
Yeah.
And
Keep
there's
an eye
like
out
an
for them.
MP Safari. It says Safari. It's this beautiful olive drab color. It really is quite gorgeous. And it does come with a 35 mil f2 spherical lens. So yes, we'll probably get those serial numbers out there later on. That's the camera.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's what was taken.
All right. Why don't we?
Yeah, we'll keep going if
keep
Ron
going.
sees something. So then let's go to Nikon now that we're on that topic. So Nikon has also rumored heavily. I don't know if there's an official announcement.
Same
but-
thing. They've said we have our
Yeah.
professional mirrorless camera coming this year.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing with Nikon, we've seen a pile of patents for lenses.
Right.
And serious stuff too. I mean, some of these are really fast, like I saw some 1.3 lens patents, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've been doing this for a couple of years now. So I'm expecting them to go a more traditional mirrorless route, new lens mount with adapters for Nikon lenses. But I do think we're going to have a lot available at launch, would be my expectation.
I hope so. And I think it's fair to say, too, that Nikon was really hoping for 2017 to be a big year. And I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't. The D850 was amazing.
850 is doing great.
Yeah, but they were really hoping for this 100th anniversary celebration. It was going to be this huge, huge thing. And of course, the earthquake kind of screwed that up, and a lot of other factors in the economy screwed that up. So 2018, they might have a lot of stuff that they were like ready to release now that they're going to make a big splash in 2018. So it should be a very good year, very good couple of years for Nikon, I think.
Well, and I really think too, when we looked at the D850, we saw so much cool functionality that was reserved exclusively for live view. Yeah. I think this is all that technology getting developed in it. What I really hope is everybody forgets that Nikon had killer live view autofocus on the Nikon 1 system cameras.
Yeah, it was nice.
They've
actually,
never brought it up to their DSLRs, anything like that. I hope all those patents and everything, because they were doing the first company to do hybrid phase detect in
Right.
live view. I hope all of those are ready to go with this Pro camera.
I would assume
and we
so.
can see what we saw with the 850, where it was a blending of speed and image quality together that do everything camera. I hope that's the case with the mirrorless instead of like 3 models all specialized. in
Now,
different
I'm
patents.
curious to all you at home, what do you think the new Nikon and Canon cameras are actually going to look like? That's kind of what I'm curious about.
I hope Nikon goes classic. I don't
I know
think
too,
Canon
yeah.
will, but my guess would be, I mean, hopefully Nikon's been listening to us. They saw the missteps that they made with the DF. I hope that didn't poison
Not like
the
a
well.
faux,
Yeah.
not a faux classic camera like the DF. I mean, could you imagine if somebody actually went back to making a body out of not magnesium, you know, not some milled aluminum, but like classic copper, silumen kind of material, like just an old school.
It'd be cold on your fingies, though.
Yeah,
in Alberta.
absolutely. That's beautiful. That's
All right.
great. That's hard and cold and true and beautiful.
That's their poster. Hard, cold,
Hard, cold, true,
beautiful.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, like us, the Canadians. This doesn't all have to be optimistic predictions as well. I mean, let's also talk about negative stuff. I feel like 2018 for both Canon and Nikon is going to be the year of just rehashing old entry-level cameras, putting new names on them. You know, we kind of complained about the Canon camcorder, you know, the stuff like that.
Well, that
we complained
episode
about
isn't live
so I'm
yet.
not going to say which one. We've complained about SLRs, you know, getting rehashed. I mean, I remember our T4i video, which was 2 minutes long,
Which
or
was
whatever.
the same, yeah.
So are we going to see that in 2018? I think so. I think we're going to get cameras that have a slight upgrade. Like, oh, we put Bluetooth as well as Wi-Fi. Now it's a T9i. Or I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's going to kind of stick. Are we really going to get more exciting SLRs?
I think that'll be more from Canon because they did make such huge strides putting that great new 24 megapixel chip that put them back in the game in all their cameras. Like, I think they launched 8-9 cameras with that sensor last year.
I guess, but you know, but there's too many. I mean, it's crazy.
Exactly. So I think they're going to slow that down a little bit.
And the T6i is the only one that really sells well. I mean, are we going to have a D3500 from Nikon, which is a 3400 with a flip screen? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of where we're going to go. Are we really going to see innovation in the SLR market? I hope so, but I don't know. I think
it's just the entire industry is going up market.
Yeah.
It's the enthusiasts that are keeping things afloat. So
Yep.
the entry levels are really getting neglected because, I mean, sure, they sell, but
that's not where the excitement is.
It's not the bread and butter.
Big
anymore.
mirrorless, and you know the D850, the A7R Mark III, those have made big splashes. The 5D Mark IV. So yeah, I think they're gonna have to really upmarket the mid-range cameras.
So our optimistic prediction for Nikon would be sexy, classic design, mirrorless with phase detect.
Sure,
and-
yeah, that'd be nice.
And like 6 lenses.
But on the SLR market, I don't know because Canon just came out with the 77D. Nikon's got their 7500. I mean, these are supposed to be their upscale mid-range cameras, and
both were a little disappointing.
they're not blowing the doors off the market.
Cool. Let's move on to the innovator.
Anything, Ronnie? Feedback.
Feedback. Let's see. It's still like the hodgepodge. So just trying to filter through everything.
Yeah, get on there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, why don't we keep moving?
yeah,
And
keep moving,
Ron,
keep
why don't
moving.
you raise your hand when you've got
Well,
a...
okay,
question?
well, how about this? This was asked earlier on. So, question: is the Panasonic FZ200 still, or 2000, still a good camera for video at the end of 2017, beginning 2018? Is there something better in the price range? Do you see it being replaced by something better soon?
I still really like that camera, especially in terms of handling. I mean, let's be honest, some of the shine was taken off by the RX-10 IV,
Sure.
which is the best focusing bridge camera ever made. So I do think, yeah, if you're looking to do a lot of video and you don't want to rely on the autofocus or on the manual focus, that's
a nice
that's the
option.
king right now. But it has the built-in ND filters.
Very
still.
cool.
You've got the option of Vlog, so it's still a very nice, comprehensive setup. I think if you're a more hands-on shooter, that's a great way to go. Well, the 25.
Oh, the 2000.
The
yeah,
2000,
of course.
2500.
Yeah.
Great way to go. But yeah, if you want to be a little more hands-off, basically treat it as a camcorder replacement, I do think that RX-10 IV is the way to go.
Oh, gotcha.
And I really want to review that in the new year. One other thing I think it's kind of ignored a lot of the time is there is still the crop factor on the 2000, 2500, where there isn't with the RX-10. So if you like to shoot on the wide angle a lot, that RX10 again is going to be a better option.
I mean, that being, and you're absolutely right. I mean, that being said, the 2500 was a joy to use. It was easy. It was simple. You know, nice camera for
photography.
Sure. Yeah.
I'd probably go for the 2500. Right. But mostly what we're seeing is people are grabbing those bodies for video. Yeah.
Jordan, any reflections on the RX10 Mark IV?
Well, that's kind of what I want to review that camera in the new year. I think it's a really important camera. Kind of slipped in between some other Sony reviews this year. The A7R III took up all of our attention.
We just started feeling like we were doing Sony review after Sony review. We're like, we can't keep smacking out Sony reviews because, contrary to popular belief, we get $0 from Sony to do those reviews.
Yeah, so we're staggering it, but it is coming.
And while we're on this train, real fast, any opinions on the, I guess, somewhat leaked or maybe announced Sony A6700? Is it a speculation?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, cool.
There's nothing out there.
We've heard nothing out there. All right.
But Sony has to have 5 different cameras with the exact same body, just slightly different with extra features. That's their thing now, right? Is this sort of tiered approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we jump ahead?
Speaking of Sony, what do we think is going to change this year?
So
we're still hoping for longer glass for the NEX mount.
Well, they're crop. So here's what I think.
NEX,
Last year they said very specifically, we're getting so much flack for our lack of full frame lenses. Those are our most popular mirrorless cameras right now, and they delivered. They basically fleshed out their entire zoom line for full frame. From they've got their classic 3 lenses, the 1-400 announced, the 400-2.8. They've addressed that, but it's been years since we've seen much attention given to their APS-C cameras. I hope that 2018 is the year they really take care of that.
Yeah, I agree. And if they do have a 6700, that would be a perfect time to launch it.
Yeah, throw it in there at the same time. But even with the 6500 out there, they've got this very capable camera that needs a good mid-range standard zoom. They've got to get some more primes out there for that system, like some wide.
A lot of people are asking. I mean, the 1670 f4 is a great lens, but a lot of people now want, like maybe a 16 to 52.8, something like that, made for the small crop.
Well, and if we look at something like the 6300, that's a very popular camera. Not a lot of people want to grab a $1,200 camera and basically
a $1,200 lens.
lens.
Exactly.
To go with
it. Even a better replacement for the 1650, that would be nice.
Yeah, I think we will kind of see that. If not, we're seeing really strong signs from Sigma with their new 16, which is getting rave reviews. I just barely had a chance to play with it. They're going to put the pressure on that mount because their 30 mils stunning. The 16s come out. If they just made a crop sensor version of their beautiful 17 to 70, 2.8 to 4,
that'd be nice.
Around $500, that thing would sell like crazy. So if Sony doesn't, Sigma will.
I just want to see more compact long lens glass for the smaller mount for wildlife, sports, journalism. I feel like the majority of people buying 6300s and 6500s are doing it solely for video purposes.
Right.
Not many people are really rocking it. I mean, obviously some of you out there are, but not many people are rocking it for just doing photography. And that's because we need those longer lenses for those weather sealed bodies.
Absolutely.
Now here's an easy one. Or do you have something else you want to say?
Go ahead.
Here's an easy one. What? Yeah, you want to say 2018? I would say guaranteed we're going to see, almost guaranteed, we're going to see A7 III, we're going to see A7S III.
Those are the two we're not really, not much to guess about with that. I think with the S3 we're going to see 10-bit finally work its way into a Sony camera.
They need to put 10-bit internal into that thing.
I hope they don't just do 4K 60 in 8-bit still to differentiate those lines, which they might do, but I would love to see 10-bit carry over. What I'm really curious about is the A7 III. Are we going to see them reuse an existing sensor?
Like a 36 megapixel sensor, be a nice upgrade.
I think because the A7 series have always been kind of the ignored one. The original A7 didn't do great. The A7 II, there were a few just because of the price point, but it was never that popular a camera. It was the more niche stuff. I think we might see them put their super fast scanning 24 megapixel sensor in this. Of course, it won't shoot as fast as the A9.
Like an A9 little brother?
Yeah. All the cool handling stuff, but if we could get a fast, silent camera, then suddenly, boom, they've got that wedding market, that event market.
I agree with, that would be great. I still feel though, the A9's an expensive camera. They'd really have to be careful that they don't encroach too far into A9 territory, or else they're just going to wipe out those sales. So, I hope they don't do the whole market segmentation thing, but that kind of reeks of it.
Maybe, but if they did that at 6 to 8 frames per second, so definitely much slower body, with the coverage of the A7 A7R3. I think that would be a great way to differentiate it and still have a reason for the A9 to exist. But silent shooting is something a lot of people, I think, need to experience, and the entry level right now is too high with the A9. So that could change the market.
What about, as we're speculating on stuff that may or may not be coming out, any thoughts on the more fictional, whether we're going to see a Canon a Canon full frame or Nikon mirrorless cameras come to market, or the Panasonic GH5S? Any thoughts on that little animal that has yet to be?
I mean, with the S, the NiStat thing kind of, it seems crazy to me that you would go to the effort to Photoshop out a red button after you've published the red button if that camera isn't an important camera. And it would make a lot of sense, too, with something like, it would mirror Sony's strategy, the low-light camera, the high-resolution camera. Would make a lot of sense, so I could certainly see them doing that. And then with the EVA 1 now filling out the top side, that would give Panasonic a very fleshed-out kind of
Did we put
setup.
Panasonic? Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about them next. Yeah, I mean, we might as well do that. But yeah, I mean, speculation on the Nikon full frame and Canon full frame we've talked about. I don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, if you guys have any ideas that you would like to see, let us know, because then we can pass those on to Nikon and Canon, because actually once in a while, I'm not saying it's us, but it does seem to line up that they then come up with something that we've kind of suggested. Nothing to do with us. I'm not saying it is, but just it's just do it.
Yeah.
Now Panasonic, I mean, Panasonic has worked really hard this year, 2017, on improving their video lineup and trying to really stomp that market. EVA 1, the GH5, of course. Now the G9's kind of a thing that's out there.
I think they're going to drift back to photography. I mean,
you think so? Is that your prediction for 2018?
Yeah, I think with the, if that rumored S is there, they're going to have a lot of stuff for higher-end video shooters.
Right.
I think we're going to start to see them really retargeting some of the photo stuff with the G9. I think we're going to see continued improvements on that, their DFD system. That seems to be their priority right now, is let's get that because continuous fleshed out.
Where I feel like Panasonic's really, I mean, we love the GH5, but where we're really lacking is the GX85 is a decent camera, but it's getting left behind. The GX8 is now basically this forgotten beast. And those cameras have a lot of potential, and they cut the GM line, which I was really upset about. Yeah. The G850 is a nice camera, but it's definitely targeted an entry-level small market.
Right.
So it's like, where is their awesome, everyday enthusiast photographic camera?
Yeah, and I love the G85.
Sure.
My only question is, are we going to see a replacement on the G7, which has always been one of their most popular cameras, or are they just going to go the Sony route and reduce the price on the G85 and slowly phase out the G7?
They got to get away from that body design, because I don't think many photographers are really gelling with that sort of pseudo SLR look right now from them. We need a nice, sexy pocket camera. So I hope Panasonic comes out with something. I worry that it's just going to be up to the 20 megapixel level.
Well, on that
maybe a better stabilizer, which would be nice.
On the same token, I think we're going to see the LX200 this year. The LX100 is their sexiest camera. It's been, what is it now, 3-4 years probably?
Yeah, it's getting old.
I think we are going to see an update with all that cool new stuff that they've developed, some of like the 6K photo stuff. I'd love to see a fresh lens on that as well with a faster focus, because the focus system was great, but the lens couldn't move as fast.
I think they got to get away from that crop thing. I mean, it was kind of novel, the whole cropping in on a micro four thirds, but I think they got to get away from that, just really appeal to people. And Leica needs a new Type D camera.
Yeah.
We got a couple of questions. Jordan, your opinion on the G9's autofocus? Notably better than the GH5?
Now, are we talking for video?
Either or.
Okay, so on the video side, again, a lot of people are reviewing this camera, which is frustrating to me because the final firmware is not out there yet. So we've spent some time with it, but we're not going to
say anything until we get
things like, especially autofocus, which Panasonic always tends to throw the end of their development cycle towards. It did seem a little bit more consistent to me, but I have to put it side by side with the GH5 and really test it.
Yeah.
They're saying that they've made tweaks to it, but of course we just had tweaks to the GH5 with the new firmware.
Yeah, we need final firmware before we can really say that for sure.
For stills, I can absolutely say it seemed to focus better than the GH5.
Yeah, and of course the improved buffer rate, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's really going to be made for fast shooting.
Yeah, what I really found is with the GH5, the way the DFD system works is when you're shooting at the highest frame rates, where there's a little bit of blackout there, the last frame you see, the lens is already moving into the next capturing position. So while you're shooting a sequence, it looks like it's out of focus the entire time. The focus always looks like it's slightly in front of your subject.
Which is very scary.
Which is terrifying when you're shooting it. Then you look at the images after and you're like, oh man, it had 100% hit rate. That's awesome. The G9 exhibited less of that. But again, I want to see how it is with production. But that's one thing that always throws me with the Panasonic.
I think it's a safe bet, though, to say the G9 is going to give you better autofocus performance for photography, for stills. Yes. I really think that's going to happen. Yeah, for video, we'll have to see. Video, it really comes down what is better, right? It really has to have a smoothness to it. We can't have any of that jiggly-jaggly stuff. That's rough.
Well, in the DFD system, we know it can work. I mean, the way that it works in photo and everything like that. It's just a matter of getting it to stop second-guessing itself. Rely exclusively on the DFD system or something, and it's processor intensive.
And do it smooth. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We'll see what they come up with.
Absolutely.
Computers got to get better. What's up, Rondo?
What about any word or maybe some partial opinion on the Fuji H1?
Fuji's still
all heavily rumored at this point, right? You know, people are talking about it being a video camera style thing.
Yeah, and Fuji Rumors has been beating the hell out of this thing. Why don't we jump ahead to Fuji?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're right on there. I don't know. I mean, I feel like photographically, do you think Fuji's just going to rest on their laurels for this year? I don't know. I mean, do we get an X-T3? Do we get?
I think in a more photocentric. I think there's going to be a new flagship because there is such a gap right now between the X-T2 and then a GFX. And I think all the rumors are pointing to in-body stabilization working its way into the line.
Oh. But don't you think more in a video way, like a video-based kind of camera? I mean, if this H does come out, whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm very curious because Fuji for the longest time has said our lens mount won't work with a floating sensor.
Right.
You know, there's going to be issues with vignetting and stuff like that. So we'll see. I've said so many times, I'm willing to do a mild crop in photo.
Sure.
If they go that route. What I find very interesting about it is, just having that all-in-one design. I think it makes a ton of sense, and I don't think they'll drop those features down really quickly, the way that they did with the X-T2 to the X-T20. I think this is going to be a higher-end flagship for 2018. Then give it a year, drift it down the road.
That would be nice. I almost kind of feel like the photography stuff's not going to get that many improvements this year. I think Fuji's going to go for the video market and really work on that. So it'd be great if we had inbuilt stabilization for that. Yeah. If anybody could make compact but high quality cinema lenses, they could do it. So maybe there'll be a line for that. Yeah. I feel like if they go video, are we going to get 10-bit? That would be tough for them. I don't see them doing it.
I mean, I was floored with what they did with the X-T2. That was the biggest single generation improvement I've ever seen from like the worst video period available for a major manufacturer to honestly I would say like probably third place right now.
But I mean Panasonic's already there with 10-bit 422 internal. Sony would be crazy not to this year. I really hope they do. And if Fuji doesn't, that kind of again leaves them in this really kind of bad position of being behind. Well, Canon even.
Yeah. I don't think Canon will.
Are they going to give us a mirrorless camera with RAW shooting in it, like RAW video? That would, that would be
just RAW or super compressed,
or soft.
They'll C200 the sucker. The other thing I think I'd really love to see from Fuji. We always say they have the most well thought out lens line of the mirrorless manufacturers. There's not many gaps left, but one that I definitely see. I would love to see some XC primes because they've got a lot of like reasonably well priced, very high quality lenses.
Jordan wants affordable prime lenses.
I'd love to see, just like a 23, 35, 50, just like they did with their WR series, but plastic mounts, maybe even like a 2.8, not super fast, but very affordable primes. I think it would be great for people grabbing, an XT20 with that awesome zoom to just have an inexpensive prime option.
What Fuji have right now that's working well is they have the cachet in the whole market that people respect them as trendy, fun, enjoyable cameras, which a lot of the other manufacturers kind of seen as being more technical and whatever, right? That being said, the Fuji entry-level market hasn't been doing great. I mean, the XT20's been killing it, but
it's XT20 and above that does great.
Yeah.
But the XA series have never done
No,
great.
the XMs never did good.
And we do hear a lot of people picking up an XT20 because with that kit lens, it's such an awesome
So
value.
good.
And then it's like, for my next lens, what should I get? And it's like $800 and over.
We keep seeing the phone market really taking away the entry-level photographers, right? They just don't need it or they don't care. Yeah. And the enthusiasts are really rising. They're saying like, yeah, I'm the kind of person I want to spend $1,500. I want to do photography. I want to learn manual control. But yeah, a lot of the sort of basic small cameras, maybe Panasonic was way ahead of the curve saying no more GMs for you people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I do think we're not going to see much attention directed towards the XAs. But if somebody grabs, an XE3, XT20, I think it'd be great just to say like, hey, here's a couple cheap lenses for you. Canon and Nikon have had so much success with that. How many 51.8s move when someone grabs their first Rebel, right?
Absolutely.
I think Fuji's missing out on that. And honestly, almost all the mirrorless manufacturers are. It's really, Panasonic has a cheap 25 that's doing very, very well. Some of the Olympus, like their 42.5.
Not too expensive, yeah.
Yeah, be great to see some on some of the larger formats. Anything coming in there, Rano?
Yep. Someone's trying to egg out a sneaky response. Jordan mentioned third place in video. Behind who? Panasonic and Canon or Panasonic?
Did you say that?
I did.
Jordan.
For mirrorless cameras, for video quality, I would say it's always been Panasonic and Sony fighting it out. But if I were to grab a mirrorless camera for video right now, my third choice would be a Fuji X-T2.
You may hear somebody vacuuming in the background. They're cleaning up all the broken glass from our break-in. Thanks to Rusty Pole here, who's still quite grumpy. He's quiet, too. He really hasn't said much.
Well,
You feeling guilty?
Yeah, he's guilty.
Guilty conscience, not much to say.
That is a lot of guilt painted on his face. So
and tetanus.
No, we did not dust it for Prince because, well, tetanus.
Yeah, the cops didn't want him. So,
let's see. So, lots of comments on the Playboy boxes because they're in the frame this week.
Yeah, you guys love those Playboy boxes,
We should just do a review of the Playboy box set.
Should we do a live episode where we just go through the 50s and 60s?
Yeah,
we can just have like a hard cut onto that completely out of focus while you're flipping the pages. Yeah.
There's some beautiful women in the 50s and 60s.
There you go.
That's all I'll say. Pentax, Ricoh.
Yeah, someone said that Pentax will go on to dominate the market.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's my optimistic prediction.
Yeah, for 2018, Ricoh's going to come back. They're going to make a mirrorless digital K1000, which would actually do incredibly well. Yeah. They're stupid that they don't. Can you imagine a D1000?
Oh, man. Everyone, if they keep the
winder
on it,
the exact same body, put the technology inside, put a nice screen on the back, but just make it like an LM, like a 10, like a Leica M10, but K1000, D1000.
Pay for all the Kodak film simulation licenses.
Man,
would lose their mind.
Everybody who started photography in the 70s and 80s would immediately go buy one, no matter how much money it was.
Do you have any? Let's say less optimistic.
Yeah, they're going to go out of business. Okay. I don't know. I mean, we love Pentax. We love Pentaxians, even though they're mean to us. We love the brand. We love the technology, but we hate the fact that Ricoh Pentax just doesn't seem to advertise their products properly. They don't seem to care. Yeah. I mean, I know that's callous of me saying it, but this is just how it is in the market. I mean, their market share is just dropping pathetically, and I don't know what to do. And if anything, we're upset and callous because we're sad to see such good cameras go by the wayside.
Yeah, exactly. I do really think they have the best opportunity to reinvent themselves, and they're not taking advantage of it. They just keep bringing. I mean, the KP was their big launch, which just seemed like an afterthought. Like two marketers just threw back a couple shots and were like different grips and walked away from the table.
And like done. They dropped their microphone, they walked away, and then nobody wanted to buy those cameras. The K70 was a great camera.
Awesome value.
Great value for the money, but nobody bought it because not many people know about it.
Yep.
And Pentax Ricoh isn't making it compete against the other brands.
Yeah, even if you look at their new lens announcements, like you know, the 50 millimeter is a necessary lens, but no one's going to jump on a system for a 50 that's, I mean, it looks like it's going to be quite expensive.
And the K1's a killer camera, but it's a specialized camera. It is a landscape astrophotography tool. It does not compete against the A7R3. It does not compete against the D850. Yeah, man, this is tough. They got to make a
full frame GR.
Full frame GR would be hot. You know what they have to do is they have to not involve Mark Newsom and design some beautiful, unique products that really take the market by storm, or some nostalgic products that do.
I think that's the best angle, is just embrace their heritage.
Yeah.
They
full frame Ricoh GR and a D1000.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
All right.
Make it happen.
I don't know. What do you folks think Pentax Ricoh needs to do?
Well, the latest one was someone should have released the GR Mark III a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
I mean, really, an ugly hammer tone finish to make it reinvent that line? That didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 was a disappointment because it was just Wi-Fi. There's so much they could add to it at this point. Yeah, definitely.
Larry's dying. I worry about Larry Ricks, one of our salespeople. I think he's dying.
He's got the death rattle down.
Yeah.
That would be 2 tragedies in
so
one day.
if anybody's in Calgary and need a new job, there might be an opening.
If he tips. Oh, he's still standing.
Is he?
Yeah,
Still standing.
There we go.
Larry, are you okay, Larry? He's giving a thumbs up. All right.
Perfect.
Someone's saying, or quite insistent, that Ricoh and Canon make copiers, and that's it.
I mean, will somebody buy Ricoh not buy Ricoh, but buy Pentax?
I'd love to see it shift hands again to somebody who can really
They have amazing technology. I mean, they really do have amazing technology in their cameras. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I'd love to see Sony do it. We've already seen with their pixel shift, they're kind of latching on to a very Pentax.
Well, they bought Minolta and it worked really well for them, right?
Jack Pentax as well, and get their cool Astro Tracer stuff and all that awesomeness.
Let's see.
Let's talk about Olympus. We haven't touched on
Olympus.
So, someone was saying, "Be nice to Larry."
We are being nice. Well,
yeah, that's with a lot of love.
We're hoping he lives
once the camera's shut off. So, let's see. Any comments regarding Sony's new Venus camera?
I haven't touched it. I would love to get some time with it, but Sony Pro is not as into us.
Yeah, they don't. It's not like we've done anything wrong. They just, they don't seem to really market to us.
Do we think we're going to see any newer medium formats by next year?
That's a really good question.
The chip's out there.
Man.
Sony have announced what their new sensors are going to do, and they're in the format that would work in the GFX, Pentax bodies, the
I don't know.
the Hasselblad.
I don't want to be a downer, but I feel like people aren't really going to spend the money for medium format. They might break in and steal it, but they're not going to put down money for it. And I don't know, the A7R3 and the D850 kind of put another nail in that medium format coffin, so to speak, in that, are we really going to get that different in image for half the price?
Well, but alternatively, we're using quite old sensors. I mean, we reviewed the Pentax 645Z probably 2.5, 3 years ago. It's the same chip that we're seeing in them now. I think that's the best way for these medium format cameras to take off is, let's throw a brand new chip from Sony because they've got backside illumination on it. We know the dynamic range is going to be dramatically improved.
Oh, man.
I do think basically what we saw is a lot of new technology in the full frame cameras being compared against old technology in medium format. If they're both at parity, you should definitely see an image quality leg up.
I do want to say, on that topic of the Fuji GFX right now, I mean, we like that camera. It's a solid performer. Yep. They are really committed. They made a very extensive lineup, which was surprising.
They're pushing it hard.
Pushing it hard, and Hasselblad is too, to be honest. Are we going to see a GFX 2? The GFX pricing right now is so incredible here in Canada. It's unbelievable price points. Bodies with lenses for under 10 grand. It's insane. And I just want to say Fuji's sale is on. I'm going to throw this out here while we have it.
Dude.
Fuji sale's on here right now until January 4th on a lot of their gear.
Buy the heck out of everything.
Buy the heck out of everything. Till January 4th, Fuji's pushing it hard. And just as a side note too, we have these try before you buy programs, and Fuji is officially extending that to 2018.
Yay.
This is where you can take Fuji gear out, a really nice gear out, rent some lenses, rent some bodies, take them out for 3 days, totally free. So get on that as well.
Okay, back to Olympus because people are just lighting up.
Yeah, Olympus, that's great. What are they going to do? Are they going to redo the Pen F?
No.
They should.
I think, yeah, it was a beautiful body.
Make it focus properly.
Could use a few tweaks, like maybe make those buttons a little more multifunction.
Yes.
But yeah, there's so much room there. Just take some of their EM1-2 technology, throw it in that gorgeous body, make it a little more customizable.
Yeah.
And those were the only real drawbacks to that camera.
It had to it had to continuously autofocus, like, at all. That would be one nice change. And yeah, you know, maybe a little more user-friendly, and the cost was too high.
Yeah.
So if you can bring that Pen-F cost down, make it focus properly, it could be competing against XT20s right now.
Absolutely, it could. Yeah, beautiful design.
Such a sexy body design.
And I'd love to see some weather sealing on that too. I think would make a lot, if they want to keep the existing price point.
Yeah, I would say ditch the weather sealing, get the price point down.
EM5 Mark III, probably.
Yeah, EM5 Mark III.
It's going to happen. We're going to see some of the stuff from the one brought down. But really, the EM5 series have been, at our shop, what's really kept Olympus in the game.
Sure.
So I hope they throw some really cool new tech in there. And I think a video emphasis would make a lot of
the
sense.
EM5 Mark II was a powerful camera.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, and the EM5 really brought the Olympus OMD, their entire mirrorless series into popularity.
Olympus is another one of those companies that we're kind of worried about. I mean, what does Olympus have to do to make their cameras, you know, attractive again?
Yeah, I think really a mishmash of what they've done with the 10.3 and the EM1 together. A lot of the technology from the EM1, but the EM10.3, their priority was like, let's streamline this interface. Let's make these cameras less daunting.
So at least they're listening, right? They're saying, like, let's make these things more simple.
Make a very powerful but intuitive EM5 III. I think that would be a huge camera for them.
Ron, what are we hearing about on the Olympus front?
Well, yeah, pretty much what we're covering.
Oh, good, we
somebody
nailed
just
it.
asked the camera store online, do they think that Panasonic develops a camera to sit between the GH5 or the EVA 1? So you guys are off the hook on that one. And now the robot has to answer it.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly enough. Let's see.
I mean, Pentax we talked about, Fuji, Olympus.
One
you know,
other thing-
is Olympus going to enter the video fray?
Well, that's something I wanted to touch on is I really love, I've said before, their clutch system is really great.
Sure.
Their
I still feel like Fuji's in a better position to take that market.
I think so, but their 12 to 100 and 300 had stabilizers in them that worked unbelievably well with the EM1 body, EM1-2 body. I think we'll hopefully see a bunch of budget lenses with that same stabilization tech. That would be a great way for them to, you know, make some real headway with an EM5-2 and an under $500 stabilized lens. Would be amazing.
And now the robot's saying that you guys should answer the last question.
Sorry, what was the question?
Is there something between the GH5 and the EVA 1?
That's probably the GH5S. There you go.
If they come over the GH5S or something, yeah. I think those cameras would carry the line. You know, again, we don't know about a GH5S yet, but we certainly know about the GH5 and the EVA 1, and those aren't that far apart. I mean, you know, really, it's like the GH5, let's appreciate that this is a camera that's at a very affordable price point that punches way above its cost point. Yeah. So we don't really need something in between those two.
The major difference I saw
was... what's funny, Ron?
Just the extra dynamic range.
They're just inundating the robot with the questions. Okay.
My poor wife.
Just don't ask the robot. Just ask him in the window.
Ask us.
Okay. So.
What else do you want to say?
So someone's asking whether there are any kind of predictions for DJI, which, you know.
I mean, we've kind of seen them play their hand with the, I think it's the X7 is the new APS-C camera. They're going to become a camera manufacturer. I think it'll always be based around some sort of, you know, gimbal system.
Hasselblad drone.
Yeah, Hasselblad
drones.
But people are always asking, why haven't they made a single-hand gimbal yet? I think it's very obvious. They're going to put something like that X7 Super 35 camera in your hand
a gimbal
with a set of custom lenses that are very well balanced, which would streamline everything. You click it on, it knows what the weight should be. Away you go shoot your shots.
The Osmo PS.
There you go.
I think we'll see that, and I mean the drones are going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
The issue is, you know, how fast is legislation going to keep up with what DJI is doing?
Yeah, that's a tough market. I think if anybody can inject money into the medium format biz, it's going to be DJI. But I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical on the whole medium format world really growing or expanding. And this was a brave attempt to do it with the XCDs and the GFXs, but I don't know, man. I think they're going to stick to very expensive, high megapixel, 100+ studio commercial cams.
Yeah. Until they go away.
Until they go away.
Do you guys still think that the Canon 6D Mark II is still worth or worthy of all that hate?
I never hated that camera.
There you go.
Us personally, I think the 6D Mark II is just when you compare it against competition, like years old D750s, it's not competitive for the money. But as a camera on its own, it's perfectly fine. It focuses well. It's got nice images.
There's going to be some upgrades for people looking at it, but I think that camera took so much flack because it was systematic of everything that's been driving people
Canon,
crazy
about Canon.
with Canon. Was just exacerbated in that. It really just seemed like such an obvious ploy to force people to spend the extra $2,000 on a 5D.
You're absolutely right. People are obviously frustrated with the Canon brand, whether they want to admit it or not. And this was just kind of like a kick in the teeth. It was like, hey, here's a new camera. It focuses a little bit quicker, low light performance a little bit better, but otherwise it's the same lack of innovation and technology. So, they make great lenses.
Yeah. Well, and I think people, when you're looking at a market leader, you're expecting market-leading technology, and currently they're lagging amongst the furthest behind. So.
But if I was given a 6D Mark II and I had to go take photographs, it's a perfectly capable tool. I'd be perfectly fine using it. I mean, I was happy using it on our video review. I do want to talk about, while we've got some time left, let's just get this out. This is a really beautiful book. Now, Olivier Dutré is one of our local photographers.
We need to get him on the show here.
We really should get Ollie on the show. Beautiful black and white photography. This is his new book called Seeking Stillness, and there's just gorgeous stuff in here. And rather than show you in this book while we're out here, I know you can see it. Hi, Fretzel. Rather than seeing it out here, December 22nd, if you're in Calgary, come down. December 22nd, 12 to 5. Ollie Dutré is going to be here signing his book, and this is definitely worth coming down. Ollie is not only a very talented photographer, he's very ecologically minded. He loves to capture the beauty of this land. He really loves it, and he's shooting not only to show its beauty, but also to get the word out that we need to take care of it and be careful with it.
And he's one of those people too. There's a lot of photographers who, let's be honest, in person they're not great, but he's a great guy to have a conversation with about photography. Come down, get an autograph book. It'll be good fun.
Now, also, John, our Jonan, the librarian, our book curator, the manager of our book area, he on the Camera Store blog, check it out because he's got his favorite book list of 2017. So definitely worthwhile going and checking that out.
Top 10, I believe. So while you're all waiting for our best and worst camera video to get edited, go read that.
Go check that out. Anything else we want to talk? We've got a little bit of time left. And there's one more thing I want to mention before we go, but if we have any other questions, Ron, this is a good time.
Well, one that was asked earlier on, that was kind of poignant. How long does it take you to shoot and or cut a video?
So our typical goal is we
generally shoot in a day. Sometimes we do 2-day things. Like, of course, you've seen any of the trips we go on. We kind of stretch them out. But
so typically process, we do some testing here in the store beforehand, so we know exactly what we're looking at image quality-wise. Those tests we typically don't trust while we're out in the field. And then it's generally a week turnaround for me. Now, I do all the cutting just basically. It depends on my kid's sleep schedule. If he goes to sleep early, we get episodes out faster. If he's got a cough or something like that, it takes longer.
We try to play with the cameras for a little while beforehand and then get out there and shoot them. And for us, the day, it's a tricky challenge because not only for Jordan, having to edit these things and frame these things and get them shot properly and make sure we get all the topics we want to get covered. But we're taking cameras out, we're playing with them, we're going out in the field, and a lot of that time spent in the field is just learning the camera gear and seeing the nuances and learning the menu systems.
Doing something repeatedly to make sure
we're giving a proper opinion. Absolutely. And is this really frustrating me? No, it worked itself out, or I still hate it. Is this camera working well? All that kind of stuff. So, and then also shoot photos. In a day to get those out. Hopefully things that are watchable and that you can actually look at without hating.
And that's something that I think has been, let's throw this on my predictions for next year, because you've gotten really good at the balancing act of taking pictures that demonstrate something technically and actually taking some pictures for you, which has not always been the case. yeah, the photography is getting better, and I think we will continue to see that. You've been doing good this year.
Or I predict for 2018 we'll just finally lose it and go at each other's throats, and then I don't know, we'll start a cooking channel.
All right, and then Gary can become like the unpaid videographer, and Ian for the actual show.
Yeah, we'll
as
get
well.
Gary and Ian. They'll just take over the show.
Once the two of us have a bloody fist fight.
You have no idea what you're getting into. You don't want it.
Real quick.
Yeah, go for a run.
So we've had someone very patiently asking repeatedly.
Okay.
So have we
Is that Canadian sarcasm?
I know, right? Have we heard anything about the Sony RX1 replacement?
No.
Okay, there you go. Same
no,
thing
I
with
was
like
surprised.
a Q replacement.
The RX1 Mark II, or RX1 II, sorry, no marks.
RX1R Mark II?
The RX1R2.
With some of the nicest image quality I've ever seen from a
beautiful.
camera. But yeah, it didn't do terribly well. So
I mean,
think
it did okay.
I think their idea was, let's throw everything at it and see if this concept sticks. It didn't do great.
A very expensive camera.
They should do it with an M or a Z battery now.
Yeah,
Z battery. Z battery.
Maybe I'm part German.
Who's Zed? Zed's dead.
Go home.
Whoa.
Yeah, go back to America, Ron.
Wow.
It's a short drive.
Let's see. Ricoh GR3. Yeah, we kind of covered
Yeah,
it.
GR3 would be great.
Reviews are still the best.
When
and most
Ron's
confident.
Thank you.
When
There we
Ron's
go.
voice starts wavering like that, that means it's usually time
Yeah,
to start
like when we're
wrapping up.
shooting the
Almost
YouTube show, it's like people have to appreciate it's totally unscripted. This just kind of comes out from our opinions, and that's I think why we come across as sincere. And yeah, it's a lot of work.
No, you come across as sincere.
Yeah, no, you do too. In your video reviews, you're a reviewer too, and yeah, it's a lot of work.
You said you had another announcement that
Well,
you
yeah.
wanted to pop in at the end of the
And
show?
we can still take more questions after this, but this is a first for the camera store. We've been in business like 21 years. For the first time ever this year, we are actually open for Boxing Day.
I'm sure everyone's excited.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. Ian's shocked. You can't see his face, but it was worth it. Yeah, it's incredible. We're open for Boxing Day for the first time ever. There are going to be a lot of big deals. Normally when we see the camera manufacturers do things, it's always like this, we'll do Black Friday, we'll keep those sales all the way through the holiday season, but actually there might be some special stuff for Boxing Day. I want to say a couple things about that. So first off, you're going to want to line up for this because as usual, just like we done on Black Friday, the first 50 people that get into the store are going to get gift cards anywhere from $10 to $500. And the dude who got the $500 gift card last year was last Black Friday here that just happened, he was pleasantly surprised.
What did he put it towards, Chris?
Some expensive stuff, and it really helped him out. He was going to buy it anyways, and it helped him out quite a bit.
Awesome.
Here's another thing. We may all here at the store be wearing our jammies. It's all day jammy day at Boxing Day.
Oh, I got to get some sexy
and
jammies.
yeah, sexy. Yeah, Jordan's gonna be wearing his angel costume. He's gonna be cold.
We'll see if my thighs explode out of that as well. Like these pants.
If you, the customers, show up in your jammies, you'll be entered for a draw on Boxing Day for a very special Boxing Day gift pack.
I mean, this will be weather dependent as well. If you are going to line up, wear something more than jammies.
And we will not tolerate people coming in saying, I sleep in my jeans and winter coat on a regular basis. You might, but that's not going to fly.
We will call BS if we must.
Yeah. So other thing too, Boxing Day, Sony's going to be here doing a demo day. So this is going to be an awesome day to get some deals, see us in our sexy jammies, get some fancy gift cards, possibly enter a draw and win for a Boxing Day gift pack, and see all the Sony stuff.
That sounds like such an amazing day. Why would you stay at home with your friends and family?
No, it's been crazy. So we're going to be here, so we're all sad, but because we just like to sleep in. But you guys will get a really good day out of it. So come see us on Boxing Day. That's going to be amazing.
We are going to take 2 more questions and call it a week.
I want to say one more thing. I want to say one more thing because this is a customer service.
You never let me take the wheel, ever.
You took the wheel. You took the wheel of this whole live show. You're crazy. You go then you ramble, and I kind of wait to get words in. I'm trying to do this for the store.
It's starting.
Yeah. I do want to say as a customer service announcement, keep in mind that it's January 7th is our cutoff day for things that you've bought this month. So if you're getting gifts for people, if you're buying presents, they have until January 7th to return that stuff. And if a lot of you are at home right now saying, damn you guys, Boxing Day sales, I already bought my gear, we honor all those deals up to January 7th. So don't feel like you've missed out. Don't feel like you should wait. I mean, come on in, get your gear, get the stuff you want, get the presents. And if the prices do get better, we love you and we take care of you. We're not going to leave you out in the cold. So I want you all to know that.
We will take you in our arms.
Yes, Jordan and I will literally take you in our arms, comfort you, stroke your hair.
Until management tells us to stop.
Which they probably will very shortly.
Any other questions there, Ron?
Oh, wow.
And it'll be on our jammies if you come to Boxing Day.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh, crap. How much did I miss?
Dude, we have like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, we got time. Answer questions.
Does Fro know photo, Tony or Chelsea, boxers or briefs, coffee or tea, shaken or stirred? Jesus.
We like it shaken. Boxer briefs, I would say, for both of us.
Yep.
Although occasionally boxers are nice, just like in
Sometimes
the
you
summertime
gotta
if you're
let
trying
them-
to sleep. Yeah.
Let them breathe, man.
Or naked. Do you sleep naked?
Someone
every
in the
night?
chat actually sleeps naked, so that'll be interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
There might be some laws that you're going to break.
Yeah.
On your way.
It's gonna be a fun morning.
Yeah, please wear some sort of clothes for this jammy fest.
At the very least, like a modesty towel or something.
Yeah, yeah. This is a bad idea. We should we take
Anything
it
else
back.
there, Ron?
Oh yeah, who has more friends in real life?
Jordan or I? Jordan and I, we only have each other as
Oh
friends.
wow, look at the pain in Jordan's eyes.
I think I might have more friends.
Yes,
Yikes.
probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, would we have to go through a list?
Okay, we'll come back to you with next week with who has more friends.
I've got a lot of old dude friends that I
Can
fish
we
with
have
and talk to that way.
TCS branded jammies?
And Jordan tends to hang out with young musicians from his glory days. You're very likable.
Thank you.
Shut your stupid face.
Oh wow. Guys, are we? This is a question for me. Are we doing a pre-New Year's Eve show?
I mean,
or
we're gonna do some
is-
funky live show stuff for
Is this our last show
Christmas.
of the year?
I
No?
believe
No?
I believe this is our last show for the year. Yes, I believe so. You know what, guys? You can always check. Just
I
hop
think
on.
that's crazy.
Just
Yeah.
hop on thecamerastore.com/TCSTV. That's where we're putting up the live schedule for these shows. So
I would love to do a live show before the end of the year.
We'll make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And again, best and worst stuff coming out very soon. Do not miss it. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a cool, fun time.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks,
Cool.
guys.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Have
This
a
has been
great
a lot of
weekend.
fun. We'll see
and,
you maybe in a couple weeks. Who knows?
Yep.
If not, 2018 will be a good year.
Yeah.
And we'll just leave with
Crash Zoo.
And yeah, find those people who stole our stuff.
Yes.
yeah.
Find those people who sold our stuff.
$5,000
leave with
reward.
This
$5,000 reward. Yes.
This jerk.
Yes. Camera Store account. $5,000 in the Camera Store account
Thanks, Rusty.
Yeah.
for a conviction.
Yeah. You're
All right.
a jerk.
Are we
Yep.
clear?
Okay.
Awesome.